Howdy folks, it's Adult Turtle and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we're going to start part 4 of our journey onto 1,000 hours. If you have no idea what I'm talking about or how this works, then check out the introduction to part 1. I blabbed for 15 minutes and I'm not going to say that stuff again. So part 4, we're going to do this a little bit differently today. We're doing each part a little bit differently. And there's Perth right there. Wondering where we are. We're in Perth, Australia. And I just realized I totally forgot to write down the airport rat. I'll do that later. Anyway, in the last video, what did we learn? We learned that Sim Update 14 for me has crappier performance. I'm very disappointed because Sim Update 14 is supposed to be better than all the others. And at the time I'm recording this, Sim Update 14 is brand new. So, we were able to go 60 hours at a time, 6-0. But in the last video, I started struggling at about 35, 40 hours, which was a huge bummer. I know at the end of the video it was super cloudy, weather was super intense, but we have flown with intense weather over densely populated areas before with zero issues in the sim, with zero performance loss. But for some reason, the video ended with like, well, it would be like 60 frames per second for a second and a half, and then 3 frames per second for a second and a half, and then 60 frames per second. So I don't even think it was really my issue, maybe, because if it were frame rates were bad for me, it'd be consistent like 3 frames per second. It wouldn't go 60 to 3 to 12, you know what I mean? So we're gonna try it again. We're gonna see if we can hit 60 hours again in one go, and see if the performance suffers. We are using an aircraft that requires a little bit more demand, and that's on purpose. I know they optimized the cockpit of this thing, so it's not that bad anymore. It never was terrible, but it does demand a little bit more, so we'll see if that changes anything. So anyway, that's why one reason why we're using this is I want to see what performance is like after 48 hours, 60 hours solid of sim time. And I love this aircraft anyway. And where are we? Well, we're starting. I'll just actually show you on a map. And we'll get things set up and get going. Let me just show you on the VFR map super quickly. Perth, Australia. And we're going to go, well, this doesn't go far enough. I'll have to show you on the other map in a minute. Alright, so what is this? Yankee Papa Papa Hotel. And we'll just get going and show you what our plan is. We're going to do this a little bit differently. Let's set up autopilot. Man, I've been in this plane a long time. So instead of doing a flight plan in plane or in sim like I have for all the others, we're just going to go up to 39,000 feet, right? That's 39,000. And we're just going to set the heading bug like sort of east-ish, maybe northeast. So let's spin this thing. I'll kind of like grab and go really fast. Well, it's not really fast, but it's better than spinning for hours. Let's start out by going kind of northeast-ish. And we're just going to let it fly. No plan. I'm just going to go about 39,000 feet, head northeast, and just let this thing run for as many hours as I dare. And we'll see where we end up in the world. It's going to be kind of interesting. So let's see, man. I used to have this like done by muscle memory. Flight director. We're going to use heading bug. And vertical speed will start with like, I don't know, a pretty steep like 1,800 feet per minute until we get higher and higher. Then I have to adjust things. Hit B for barometer, I guess. Weather is fine. World weather is turned on. I did change the slider so that we're not flying at night when I'm at my computer, like the last video, where it was like full night the whole time. Are we able to zoom? Whoa, like, is this gonna work? Can I zoom that out, or I have to move my thing? Okay, so, yep, I'm gonna start Perth, Australia. Just kind of go this direction, and then just let the plane fly for a couple days. Maybe if we're near something interesting, I'll move the heading bug. It'd be nice if I could come around and hit Antarctica maybe on the way around. We'll see. I just have to be on my computer, you know, to make adjustments to do that. So, yep, no plan this time. So, what do we need to do over here? I think we need to do a few things, even though the sim was supposed to get us going. No takeoff because, why, parking brake, that's it. And then timer. Okay, so that is our fastest introduction we've had in all of this series here so far. But that's all we need for introduction. So, do we have flaps down 1? Are we good? I think everything's fine. I'll make adjustments to cockpit lighting and stuff in the air when I'm just playing around. But otherwise, let's get in the air and get going. And I'm trying to think if there's anything I needed to say about the previous video. I don't think so. I didn't edit it yet though. So if there's anything I wanted to say, it's too late because I already started this one. And I have allergy voice because I was digging around under my desk, moving stuff around. Got full of a bunch of dust. There you go. It wants to go up all on its own. Brakes just out the wheels. Gear coming up in this one. Flaps coming up in this one. And let's just go right into autopilot. And the performance is already stinky pinky. Look at this. Ah, big sigh. Well, there's Perth. Look at this performance. Clear weather. We're not by anything that it's trying to draw, really. And this airplane, it's stuff we've flown before. What is the problem? Oh my gosh, it's not even responding to my keyboard commands. I restarted my computer. I restarted, well, which obviously needs to restart the sim too. Did my settings get changed on my thing? No, we're still recording the same settings. Why is performance so awful in the sim since the update? I don't want to do IFR. Oh my gosh, come on. It's not even responding to my keyboard input. This is terrible. I can't even get ATC to pop up. There we go. Oh my word. Look at this, it's not responding to me. This is really frustrating. Fresh restart of the computer, fresh restart of the sim. I don't even want to do airspace. I don't have a plan, so I guess it's not going to be IFR. So just forget that. Okay. This is really stinky. We all know it's not my computer. My computer did not change when I changed to Sim Update 14. Right? Same computer I've had since the sim was new. And we've never struggled. Ever. Well, I might know what's going on. Now my computer, when Sim Update 14 came out, which again, as I record this, was only like a day or two ago, their servers were really struggling. It took 4 hours to download a 7 gig update. Everybody struggled. I wonder if they're still having server issues, and I just can't get the information fast enough. You know what I mean? Like if their servers are struggling. Because, you know, a lot in this sim, a lot does reside on your computer. But you also rely heavily on Microsoft Cloud Computing for this sim. Which is how they're able to make it so good with all this data. And if their servers were struggling, they might still be really struggling. So I might be complaining. And by the time you watch this, my complaints are completely moot. But this is not normal. We have flown this airplane in all weather, in all conditions of, you know, urban, rural, whatever, and we've never, ever struggled. And I have all my settings cranked, and we've never struggled. I've never dropped below 60 frames per second with everything cranked in any aircraft in any area with any weather. So, the fact that auto throttle kicked in, because when you almost overspeed, auto throttle kicks in. You have no control over it. I guess I could go more than... Why did it bring me down to 250? I don't want to do VNAV rules right now. I want to do... Just go straight up. Come on. Just go straight up to 40,000 feet, please. I don't care about the speed limit. I'm not following those rules right now. Anyway, there we go. I lost track of what I was saying because of the auto throttle thing. I don't know, I'm just really kind of confused. So maybe it's the cloud computing that's screwing up and it has nothing to do with me. Let's bring back throttles a little bit so the auto throttle doesn't kick in again. Come on. I'm watching the tape on the left. Anyway, I think we're settled in. Okay, so I'm not going to make any changes to my settings. See, it's smoothing out. No, it's still a pain in the butt. Okay, it's smoother now, but I mean, I should be able to fly in Perth with a small jet with my settings cranked in clear weather, not have issues. Anyway, you can hear the frustration in my voice, but I'm not going to make any changes in my settings or anything right now. We'll see if this continues, though. Because I've gone 3 years without a single issue, and now I've had issues for the past, what's it been, 15 hours or so? 15 hours out of 3 years is nothing, so I'm not going to change my settings or anything. I'm just going to keep going. We'll see what happens. If it does turn out to be my computer with my settings cranked, I'm going to be very frustrated because I've gone 3 years without a single issue. Arg. Anyway, my computer's not the newest anymore, but it's not like a brand new sim came out. Anyway, whatever. Enough of that topic. Holy crap, I'm not planning on complaining about that for so long. Anywho, we're underway. We're 5.5 minutes out, 15,000 feet. And we're going to climb to 39,000 feet. And I'm just going to play with the heading bug, like I said, in case there's anything interesting I want to see. Otherwise, I'm just going to let this thing fly for many days as I feel comfortable at a time. And just keep building the hours up to 1,000 hours. You know the drill by now. This is part 4, so I'm sure you've seen the other videos. So I'm going to stop talking and let my frustration out in another way. And enjoy the sightseeing. I'll jump in when there's something interesting to say. Talk in a little bit. And I'm back already because there's something I just remembered about this airplane. When I left this airplane unattended in the past, we've had issues with it. So normally you would use auto throttle and set your speed and let it sit forever, right? But I've done that before where I've left it unattended for like 2 or 3 hours, and auto throttle will slowly slow the plane down sometimes, and it'll stall out and crash. We've crashed in the water because I've left this thing unattended. But then if I run it right now without auto throttle, which I'm doing, the speed fluctuates so much that I'm actually sitting here making minute adjustments to my throttle almost constantly. Because if I overspeed, auto throttle is going to kick in anyway, and then it could slow it down and crash it. But if I'm not making adjustments, even though we're holding 39,000 feet, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it just enough throttle that it speeds up slowly over time. And then if auto throttle kicks in, maybe if it slows itself down, auto throttle turns off. Let's try that together. And then we'll watch the sunset. Let's give it some throttle so that it gets closer to overspeed. And then auto throttle will kick in. And maybe auto throttle will disengage itself when it's not overspeeding anymore. And if that happens, then we will be fine. I'll be comfortable leaving it. But don't be surprised if this video doesn't make 60 hours in this airplane. It might only last a couple hours, and then we'll have to take off again with something else. And I'm also sitting here ruminating over my settings, and maybe I'm having doubt that maybe as the sim gets more and more complex, I will have to turn down settings, and it's not all of the cloud computing's fault. Because now that we're far out of Perth, our frame rates are fine. But I don't know. The thing that drives me crazy about PC gaming in general are chasing frame rates and constantly adjusting settings, and I can't stand it. I hate it so much. So hopefully I won't need to play with settings and chase frames, because a flight simulator, every frame counts, right? So if you can get a frame or two back, it matters. I'm just so tired of doing that, because with X-Plane I'd have to review my settings like every month. So anyway, alright, so here we go. Auto throttle should kick in a second, and we'll know because we'll get the yellow auto throttle flashing. And then we'll see what happens. Come on, auto throttle, you gonna do your thing here? You're gonna do your thing? Come on. Or I could just climb enough that full throttle doesn't ever overspeed. That's another option. Okay, auto throttle on. So it's just slow us down, get us out of the red. But what happens? Does it disengage? If it disengages itself, then that's fine. Otherwise, it's going to slow us way down. Okay, so there it is, armed. Will it disengage itself? Okay. So is it going to go back up now? I don't mind if it rubber bands like this. That's fine. Okay. Let's just do this, and let's just see if it'll stay in the air when I leave it alone for a while. So, alrighty, some sunset sightseeing for you, and you hear my voice if something interesting comes up. Otherwise, it'll be the typical 24, 48, 60-hour updates. But don't be surprised if the next update is crashed somewhere. You never know what's going to happen, because this plane is not meant to be unattended for 2.5 days. So, see you in a bit. And I'm jumping back in and ready, because look at now. Look at this. Even without auto throttle, it almost stalled us. Look at that. So it's really bouncing around now. Man, I don't know what to do. Maybe what we'll do is we'll just climb a little bit so that I can keep it cranked all the time, and then not have to worry about overspeeding, I guess. We'll just find whatever altitude holds the speed up. And again, I don't even need to go that fast. I'm not trying to get anywhere fast. I just don't want the speed to bounce around and hit stall. See what I mean? I don't care how fast we go. Like, I'm not trying to get it around the world in like an hour. It's just, I don't want to bump over speed. Auto throttle kicks in, brings us down to stall, and then I come back in 6 hours and we're in the water. And I'm like, how'd that happen? So if I can find a speed where I can keep it cranked all the time and not overspeed, then we should be able to not have to worry about this unattended. And it's kind of a bummer too, because I've been excited about flying this plane, because I want to see like how far around the world we can get, just for fun, you know, and stuff. But I might not be able to. I might have to restart this with a different plane. I don't know. Let me see if I can settle into a speed here where it's going to be stable and we're not going to stall if I walk away, and then I'll leave it like that. If I find that happy place, I'll jump in with an update. Otherwise, enjoy some sightseeing and stay tuned on the edge of your seat to figure out what happens next here, because I have no idea how this is going to work. Alright, one more quick update here. I got the speed to hold for almost an hour. What I did is I did manual speed hold just below overspeed and then engaged auto throttle so that it would never bump overspeed, because the built-in like VNav speed hold was at the bottom, or it was into overspeed, so auto throttle kept slowing down. That's why it would stall, because it would just keep slowing down forever until I was able to like poke it a little bit. So I decided to put manual speed hold just below overspeed, and we've been holding for an hour. So the way I did that, let me turn up the floodlights so you can see here, is I moved this over to manual, and then I just spun this down to just below overspeed, and now it's been holding perfectly fine for almost an hour. So hopefully it'll continue to hold for 60 some hours. Then I was thinking what I would do if I get performance issues later is I'll just change the weather to something less demanding, and if that solves the performance stuff, then that means somewhere along the lines my computer decided it can't handle crazy weather. Or if I go over a major city and it stalls out or frame rates crap out, I'll turn on some settings and see if I'm in denial and all these sim updates have caused my computer to not handle the sim at maximum settings anymore. Or I don't know. There's so many variables. That's the problem. It could be the cloud computing, it could be my computer, it could be a weird object that was introduced. It's too many variables, so I'm going to stop talking about that so that you can enjoy the video. The reason I'm flying east, by the way, is so that the nighttime is shorter when there is nighttime, because I'm flying east. So then maybe we can get more daytime sightseeing, because right now we're back at night, which is how I spent most of the last 60 hours. So there you go, sunset in the distance. Alright. Hopefully I'm done talking now and I can let this thing run for like a day or two without talking, because I did a lot of talking. So I'll see you when something interesting happens. Alright, kind of a weird jump in video here. Notice my timer went down to 5 minutes, because what I did is I went back to Perth. I turned all of my settings way down. All my settings, just turned them way down. And I still have the same horrible stops and things and frame rate drop and then come up and drop and come up when I left Perth. It's smooth now because we're out, but same thing happened with the performance even when I turned everything way down. So it's not my imagination. There was something weird going on in some of these cities. And QA Pilot just had a video come out at the time of this recording about updating your DLSS file and getting 30% boost in frame rates. So I went to do it, and I cannot get Flight Sim to pop up in the list of games for DLSS. I can get Forza Motorsport to pop up, and I'm definitely using DLSS and Flight Sim. I double checked, but I can't get it to show up in the swapper. So whatever. I just want to give those two updates. So I did start over. I did get 6 hours. I banked a few hours. Anyway, I'm keeping the video that we already saw, and I'm just going to fly until we get to the same spot where it was, and it'll be dark again, and it'll be seamless. So just consider this like an interlude within the video. I just wanted to tell everybody that I did turn all my settings all the way down, still had crazy horrible performance. So I'm convinced it's not my computer. It's just something about either the sim update or some of these cities, or just the cloud computing servers right now are just bogging down for some reason. But once I left the city and we go to where there's nothing handmade or anything, then it's fine. So anyway, just wanted to continue my rant, even though I said I wasn't going to. So let me catch up to where we were, and then I'll give you some more updates as we go. I just have to get back to 45,000 feet and find that speed again. It'll be no big deal. I've done it once, I can do it twice. See a little bit. Well, I think we're accidentally over the North Pole. I didn't mean to go over the North Pole, but I decided to check on my airplane at almost 24 hours. And we're just going back and forth. This is GPS LOI, which isn't good. And we're just kind of hanging out. So I have heading bug set. Yeah, I don't even know where my plane is. Where is it? Yeah, I can't even control anything. Look at this is doing whatever it wants. Look, that's the airplane going up and down on its own. See, that's not me. That's the airplane. And I didn't mean to go over the North Pole. I thought it'd be kind of fun if we did, but yeah, I don't know. So I'm just gonna let this run for another hour or two, and we'll check back in, and maybe it's stuck here forever. I mean, I can't even zoom my map in and out. Look at this. My map does nothing. Heading bug, let's see if heading bug does anything. If I turn heading bug like this. Nope. Okay, now it's turning if I use that part. And what happens here? Nothing. So, look, it zoomed out so far. There's Australia, there's Russia, and then nothing. So, I don't know if the GPS broke or if we hit the North Pole. I don't know. We're gonna let it sit here for another hour or two, and I'll check back in with you and see what the heck is going on. At least we're not crashing, and at least time is going up. So, very strange. Yep, not only is the airplane stuck, but we're getting one frame every 30 seconds here. In fact, it's not even responding to me at all anymore. Let me try. Yeah, look at that. Okay, there's that. And come on. Okay, It is completely stalled. So let's end this here, and we'll see if it counted our time. I'm just trying to get down so I can see what our time was. There it is. Oh, so it's about 24 hours. Okay, so let's end this thing. It won't let me end it. Oh boy. If it counted our time... Come on, end the flight. I don't want to force it to quit. We'll lose our time, perhaps. Come on, we can do it. I think we literally found, like, no man's land. Oh, now it's working. There we go. Okay, so 24 hours, we were at 692, I think. So 724 take away 10 is 714. Add the 2 hours back in. So about 716 we should be at. Let's see if it says that. Even this is stalling. Look at this. Oh my goodness. It is not responding to any of my mouse clicks. I can't even get out of this flight. There we go. Yeah, 716, right? That would be right, because 724 take away 10 is 714 plus the 2 hours. I counted all the time, so I'm not complaining. I was hoping to get way closer to 800 in this video, but that's not going to happen. We're just going to end it here. I think I'm just going to run the plane without recording over the ocean, just because I don't want to have too many videos on this project. So I'm just going to do it over the ocean for like a couple days so you don't miss a dang thing. So anyway, subscribe so you know when the next video in this series drops. Plus, I think the next bush trips for the Caribbean update, I think that's what they're calling it, the Caribbean update or something. That's going to be coming out soon too. So make sure you subscribe so you catch that when those come out. Hit a like button so people know we exist, and I'll see you next time.